pretty dope.
Let's start this baby off. Hello
Hell yeah.
and welcome everybody to the latest episode of SONIQ WAVEZ with the rock band Fire and Ice, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us today is lead vocalist John Tora, Mark Spider, Sparrow, and Mike Gemini. Guys, how are you guys doing today?
We're
Doing-
fantastic.
Doing pretty
Doing
well.
well. Doing really well.
Surviving the cold.
Good to see you.
That's what's up.
Get my sympathy.
So, how long have you guys been a band together? If you don't mind us asking.
Well,
I'll let Johnny say it.
well, Fire and Ice, we formed in the fall of 2022, going into 2023. The band started with me and our original guitarist Shane Chester. The band, how it started off originally, it formed when I met Mark. I met Mark in a different band and we played. That band didn't work out. So then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna stop, trying to form together this kind of 80s metal band. So I had found Shane's profile on an app called Bandmix. I reached out to Shane and I said, hey, you look like the kind of guy that's looking to do what I'm trying to do. We connected. Later, I found out that Shane used to play in a band with Mark. So it started with the three of us at first. And then we were like, we need to find a drummer. So later on, going into 2023, so specifically January 2023, Shane suggested Mike to be our drummer. And pretty much from there, we've been together, the four of us, since 2023. But we had a bit of a little hiatus in between. So really, I guess things started to really kick off going into 2024.
How often do you guys play together, if you don't mind us asking?
We usually play. Go ahead, Mark.
We usually try to play almost every single weekend. The only thing that kind of preventing playing almost every single day like normal bands would do was that we were more spread apart. Mike's in Bayonne, I'm in Bergen County. Shane was in the Bronx, and John was in Long Island. So for us, it was heck of a trip to even connect to each other, in which I was the main I was the main mode of transport. So, but we made it work. We made it work to get as far as we are today. I mean, we made everything possible.
No, it sounds like the journey has been a long one, and it looks like you guys have actually grown a lot in the last, 2-3 years. This would be your third year as a group together, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So, what are some venues that you guys have played? How big are the crowds that you guys usually play for, if you don't mind me asking?
What we call our turf would be Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey. We usually pull probably 20 to 30 people, sometimes even more if we can get all friends, family out. But we've played Dingbats. The biggest venue we've ever played was the Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, opening for a Journey tribute band called Frontiers, and we've also played at the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey, opening for Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses.
That's dope.
That's pretty cool.
You're waving a couple out, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I was saying the big main ones. Where are we going back in July?
Well, no, keep going. If you
right,
share,
how could I forget?
How could you forget, man? We're going back there this July.
We've headlined the Whiskey a Go Go in Los Angeles in July. We were the co-headliner for a No Doubt tribute band at the Viper Room in Los Angeles, and we did a co-headline show with Sunset Riot at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Los Angeles. All
in 1 week.
So who manages you guys?
We manage ourselves.
We're self-managed.
We've been independent for since the very, very beginning. It is hard work. We have to book the shows. We have to make the decisions and everything. Um, but to get to where we are today, it's been a heck of a trip. I mean, it's a lot of work, obviously, but we made it happen. We made everything happen.
It's
Nice.
it's a lot involved. The amount that goes into this, but you know, we're all proud of ourselves for what we've accomplished in the span of about 2 years. You know, because going from just a small band starting off in Long Island, going to New Jersey, and then from going to New Jersey, headlining Los Angeles. I mean, that's a big jump in a short span of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And you're going from coast to coast.
Kudos to
You're
you guys
selling
for getting it
tickets.
all done.
No, continue, J-Man. That's really like a major
What?
accomplishment, man. You're known across the states. That's fucking dope, bro. And your
Yeah,
music's out there for the world to listen to. And I'll be real with you, that High Roller album, banger, my guys.
Yeah,
Banger,
Thank you so much.
It
Thank you.
sounds like this is a story of the trials and tribulations of being in a band in 2026.
But what it's really like, right?
I see the same patterns with bands out here and guys that I know. You know, you've got guys living in different cities, you know, spread out, you know, and they got to make the time to come together and practice. And you know, that a lot of them are independent like you guys, and they're booking their own gigs, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I know. I'm an ex-musician myself, so you know I used to do that shit back in the day, and so I know what you guys are going through, and we appreciate you. Just so you know,
Thank you.
you know,
you.
and thank you for keeping the art form alive.
Yeah,
Yes,
you guys got
anytime.
some solid
We love
songs,
it.
man. I mean, I love yeah, the new album's really cool. I even checked out some of your guys' older work, like Hypnotized. That was a pretty good EP that you guys released. Black
Yep.
Widow is also a really good song too. I really like that one. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know, like what was it? Was it High Roller where the beginning of High Roller is so interesting because it reminds me of Money
That's
from
all
Pink
in.
Floyd. And I don't know, like
Oh,
it just
that's
builds
the
it up,
intro track, All In.
and then the
Oh
guitar,
yeah.
like yeah, like I don't know,
So who came up with
it's
the
just
intro
good.
track?
So that
That was
was
my idea.
that was Mike's idea.
So the whole concept of the album High Roller was my idea, and it came about. I've always been fascinated with the album cover of Straight Shooter by Bad Company, where it has the dice and the poker table.
Yep.
Um, I said to the band, I was like, because we've always wanted to do stuff original. We don't want to copy anyone, or we don't want to. We try not to, you know, we try to do our own thing basically. So I had said, besides Straight Shooter, I've never seen anyone do a casino style vibe like album. So I said, why don't we do an album where it's us on the cover at a poker table, you know, looking at our cards, and I can be like looking at Shane like cheating off his hand, like have a little comedy in it. So when everyone agreed, I said we need something like an opener to fit that style. So we were going over, you know, title names and everything, and I said, how about All In? And it came to be our producer Beto was the special feature on that with his guitar sweeps, making it sound like it was a jackpot machine, the slot machine, yes.
Like slot machine.
And then I the voice that says "I'm all in" was my voice, just very deep tuned down.
It was just pitched down. That was more like a nod to this one Extreme song, He-Man Woman Hater. And that's one of our favorite songs. Me and Mike have somewhat of a love affair for Extreme. And
Yes.
when he showed me that song in particular, All In, All Finished and everything, I'm like, that's He-Man Woman Hater. Like, oh my God, dude, that's amazing.
That's dope. I'm gonna have to check that song out. He-Man Woman Hater.
I'm writing these songs down, man. I mean, these songs
over here, Mr.
I'm taking notes.
I love it. So what is some of your guys' inspiration on the music that you guys produce? Because everything you guys have put out is original music you guys have written, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely,
Yes.
100%.
So what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, as far as, I mean, at least for me, for artist wise, I take a lot of big inspiration from Cinderella, Van Halen, Zeppelin, and other acts like Journey.
Shout out
Yeah,
to Jen.
that's like my personal take when it comes to like songwriting.
For me, it would be Aerosmith is they're my heroes. They're my number one favorite. Aerosmith, Van Halen is another one. Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses, um, Extreme, Rat. The list goes on. But my biggest inspiration was always Aerosmith. That's the band that I've looked up to since I was a toddler. Like when I was like 4 years old, my dad would be listening to Aerosmith, and one day he had the movie Wayne's World 2 on, and the scene where Wayne and Garth are at the Aerosmith concert and they're performing "Dude Looks Like a Lady." I see Joey Kramer behind the drums, and I'm like, that's who I want to be. I want to be just like Joey because he had the cool look, like all the black with his hair in a ponytail. He just looks so cool to me. So, and also my dad is also a drummer, so I learned a lot from him. But like artist wise, I've always looked up to Joey Kramer as my biggest inspiration.
Cool.
That's dope.
Awesome.
Now for me, well, playing obviously, Kip Winger. I mean, Winger, the band Winger. Everybody in the band knows that I'm a really big nutcase for like soft rock or like melodic rock or kind of stuff. Kiss is one of my biggest main influences, stage wise and songwriting wise. Singing obviously is Mark Free, who recently passed away not too long ago. And a lot of my music inspiration comes from like very obscure bands like Stars, Angel, and Flip.
Stars.
Um, yeah,
All
Stars.
right.
Love. I've been introduced to Stars like for a long time now, and I'm like, oh, I love this band so much.
Oh
Violation is
yeah, I
one of
love
my
those
favorite
guys.
albums of all time, and
Yeah.
the first debut album was a very fantastic album. Um,
Mm.
but what definitely got me into playing music was actually my uncle. He lives in Peru, and he plays
Hey,
music.
Nelson.
That's
Hey,
my boy
Nelson,
right there. Is he
our
Peruvian?
local
Are you
Peruvian.
guys Peruvian?
I'm 100% Peruvian
Mark
here.
is.
My
My
family was born in
boy,
Lima.
Mike Paisa, Chifu,
Yeah.
yo, brother, I love you.
¿Qué
All right.
pasa,
That's
mi
my
cosita? ¿Qué
Where
pasa,
you
mi
guys
chela?
from? What part of Peru are you
My
guys
parents are
from?
from Lima. My
Okay.
parents are from Lima. My dad specifically, he's from Callao, so he's Chimpún Callao,
That's my
100%. My mom's from San
boy.
Juan de Lurigancho.
Okay.
I was born here in New Jersey. But like I'm saying, my biggest influence is parts of my family. My cousin, she's a symphony orchestral instructor. She conducts music. She writes music,
Oh,
music sheets. And my uncle who plays um, old Peruvian music, criollo and música huayno. And I kind of do blame my dad because he plays a lot of music. And
Oh, I
same thing with
know.
my mom. They kept playing music when I was in my mom's womb at the time. So that's how I came out all freaky and everything.
Dog, I could relate with the winos. My daddy used to play that shit every time he'd go play soccer, and we would just bump to that shit in the
Oh,
car.
dude, I love it, man. I love it so much. It reminds me
Dog,
of family and everything. And you know,
it's a
it tugs the heartstrings just a bit.
dude, it's a trip, dog. I never in 1,000 years would have thought you were Peruvian and you would have listened to winos. My God, I love it, Mark. I love it. So, what about you, my guy? What influences your music?
So for me personally, my number one band for me that influenced me was Megadeth, 100%. So I remember just listening. Like I bought Rest in Peace just on my phone at the time. It was Google Music. I was in high school, I was just playing it randomly in the background, and then the song "Tornado of Souls" came on. That opening riff blew my fucking head open. From that moment on out, became a metalhead. But even before that, like my favorite band then was the Foo Fighters, actually. And I'll remember this day. It was, July 15th, 2015 is when they played in Citi Field here in New York. And I just remember watching that whole show. And when this was actually, by the way, this was the tour when Dave Grohl broke his leg. So he was doing that tour on the throne.
Oh wow!
And
no, that's interesting, man. That's actually really cool. You guys mentioned earlier before we started the actual show that you guys all went to a concert together. What was the concert, and how did you guys all each like end up there? If you don't mind me asking.
So we
So I remember this vividly, 100%. This was 2019. This was the first time I was seeing Steel Panther live in concert at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. Out of nowhere, this big guy in a white jacket and a white fedora, he's hanging out with us, and he has like a sign that's like, I think it was like, "I love you, Sticks Zadinia."
no,
And little did I know,
I challenged Sticks to a drum duel.
yeah, there you go. It was that one. Little did I know that I was gonna be bandmates with this fucking guy. Um, I was like, oh man, this is what a trip.
What we were talking about before the interview was when we all were at the same Kiss concert in 2019 at Madison Square Garden, but this was before we all knew each other. So I was at the Madison Square Garden show. Mark was there and John was there, but we didn't know each other, and we were all like spread out through the arena. But when we all found out that we were at the same concert, it blew my mind because it was like, wow. Looking back, like it's like I had no idea that three of my bandmates, who I consider my family, are in the building with me. Would have never thought that.
So no, John, continue. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I'm thinking back of that show. I remember I had like poorly done Ace Frehley makeup, and I had a comb over. Before I had as my old guitar teacher would say, my metal cap.
I was also in Ace Frehley makeup too, so I wouldn't be surprised if John and I crossed paths because I remember seeing people with Ace Frehley makeup.
Rest in peace, Ace.
I remember
Rest in peace, Ace.
when I got home. Yep, rest in peace, Ace. I remember when I got home, I fell asleep with it on, and I remember waking up and my pillow was smeared with all the makeup, which is probably very unsafe to do. I could have got a really bad infection, but rock and roll, baby.
Hey, fuck it, man. You only live once, right? Isn't Paul currently in the hospital, or wasn't he dealing with like vocal issues recently?
I think that was a long time ago, honestly.
I think Gene. I heard Gene.
It was Gene because he got in a.
No, it was Gene. He had a car accident. Oh
yeah.
And he probably made quick buck from telling the story. One thing you got to remember is always keep your eyes on the road.
Wise words.
That's John's thing. Man. He's very good at impressions.
He's very good at impressions. He can give you the best impression of anybody else, and this guy's just like a wind-up toy, you know.
I've been told by people I'm known as a parrot because I can mimic any singer I choose to, as well as people I'm around. I can mimic like sounding like them.
Except me. He can never mimic me.
No.
No.
It really depends.
That's cool, man. Guys, do you guys have any other questions you want to ask these guys? Because I got a couple more that I kind of want to ask.
Yeah, for your guys' like album, like recording it, and it must have been like a huge step in, you know, your guys' like trajectory as a band and everything, and just moving forward with an actual album. What were some like adjustments, or like what were some troubles you guys had with any like songs? You know, was it a smooth process, or did you guys have like some like one song where like took like a couple weeks while the rest were seamless?
I mean, it was definitely a lot of discipline. You know, evolving from the EP. When we did Hypnotize, that was all done by ourselves. We had no professional producer. You know, when we recorded that, that was at my house in my studio basement and at Mark's house. And when it came down to the final production, it was Mark and
It wasn't what we wanted.
yeah,
It didn't leave a pretty good lasting impression on us.
yeah,
Mixing wise, it was just a little weird. And the thing is that the really big thing with that EP is that we rushed it. We rushed
Yeah.
that EP like it was nothing. We just wanted that EP out already.
yeah.
And I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that we've done, but it's a happy mistake because we had something to show for it, and people were listening to our music, and they were saying that this music's pretty good. But we did receive a lot of good critique, people telling us instead of doing this, why don't you do this instead? And that's the kind of critique what we're always looking for. You know, whether it be a harsh critique or anything that's not as close to bad mouthing or anything. That's exactly what we always look for. We always look out
Yeah.
for stuff like that.
So, and that
Mhm.
was the whole thing with that album. Like the songs were good. Like we had good songs. It's just the quality wasn't there. You know, it was described to the extent of a stereotypical '80s cassette demo, which of course it was kind of the whole energy we were
It
trying to
was
get like the '80s. But as far as quality, you know, we were like, no, this doesn't sound as good as it should be. It could be better. So that's when we decided to say, when we were going to record this album, we got to do it professionally. You know, if you're going to do something, you got to do it right at least.
So how
On
much
that,
did
on
you
that
guys
note, how
invest?
did you guys wind up at Hellbound Studios? That's the name of the place, right?
Yeah,
Hellhound.
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 Mark would be the one to answer that
Mark.
because he's the one that introduced
All
us to.
right. So years before I even met these guys, I was in another band, and it was a thrash metal band. So going from thrash metal to hair metal was kind of a change for me. So I've known that studio for as long as I remember. We used to go to a different studio when these guys were in another band called Conquer at Will. That was in like near Yonkers in New York. Then we started going to another studio in Bayonne, which was closer to Mike's house. Unfortunately, they decided to close shop for good. That gave us no other choice but to go to Hellhound Studio, which I told them like we can go to Hellhound Studio. It's right there in Rahway. It's I know that place and I know the guy Eddie, and we just started making the arrangements. We did a few rehearsals over there, and we were pretty solidified with that studio. We had a really good impression with the studio, and I haven't
It
been
really
that
felt
in
like
that
home.
studio in a while. Um, then I noticed because this was like a long time. The last time I was in that studio was like 2017. Then coming back like in 2024 with these guys. I did not know that the guy Eddie who was running the place now was beginning to do mixing and mastering and studio recording. And when we heard about that, we said, let's keep that in the back burner for now. And once he's ready to do this like mixing studio stuff, we can revisit that in case we want to do this album. And
And
lo and
Mhm.
behold, that's how we ended up. We all decided to just go ahead and record the entire album at Hellhouse Studio.
it was kind of funny when we were planning to do the album, they were doing the construction for the recording studio.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
by the time we had like a majority of the material ready to start like recording and getting, you know, a head start on this album, they had just finished the construction on the studio. So we're like, this is the sign to, you know, start going in, you know, and many other bands record in that studio. But I think we were the first band to put out a full length album from that studio
Really?
since
Well,
since
Yeah,
it was
I
if
built.
we're not mistaken,
I
we
believe
were
so.
definitely one of the first that recorded a full length album there. We could be wrong, but we were definitely one of the first.
So how long did it take you guys to put together the album?
Ooh, well,
So
we
that
started.
started January, right? We started January between January and February.
We started the album in November of 2024 going into 25. That's when we started laying down the foundation. When those first sessions started, we started picking songs that we had already started playing live, saying, okay, we have these songs. This is what we're going to record. We decided on this album to bring back 2 tracks that we did on the EP previously, which was Escape into the Night and Lust for Love, which have become big fan favorites amongst our fans. And we felt like those songs didn't get the justice that it had on the EP, and that it deserves a re-record to really show what the potential it has. So we started off by doing those tracks because we already had knew them, and it was just a 1, 2, 3 process. But once we got into the studio and really like started recording, we were thinking in our heads, like, this is going to be simple. We know these songs. We're going to get it down. That's when our producer, Beto, comes into play. And I love him so much because he has taught us a lot about discipline and when it comes to recording. Because we'll like play something and we're thinking in our heads, like, oh, this is perfect. And he's like, let's re-record that again. And he'll like show us our mistakes.
The one thing I've loved about Beto is that he reminds me of Bob Ezrin, who recorded the Alice Cooper albums. He recorded Kiss Destroyer. Was that he was very, very critiquative of like this has to be done. Let's try it again. Let's keep trying it again. And the fact that we're no longer using analog tapes, it makes it easier for us. We're using digital, so sky's the limit with how many takes we can do. But
when we were
all
recording,
these takes, they do take a toll on us. But it is in the end, it is absolutely worth it because we do not want to leave a bad impression with this album. We don't want the album to be, say that, oh, it's good enough. It's not good enough. We want this album to be as pristine. We want this album to be as good. So that way, people can listen to this album, they can enjoy it, and they can, hear everything that they can versus working on a computer by yourself and building up the album independently, which I found out myself that it's a little bit hard to do it, especially when you have 4 people from different parts. It's much more better if you're doing that as a solo artist at your home studio. In a much bigger setting with a bigger group of people, it is better to do a recording a recording of an album in a studio.
Yeah.
The one thing that I remember, the one thing I remember when we first started laying the foundation down for High Roller, before we found out that Hellhound had completed the construction, we had laid down demo tracks at another studio that isn't around anymore, and the engineer was very good, very friendly, but he was kind of going off like if we felt like it was good, then he would be like, okay, we're not gonna fix anything. But like Mark said, when we met up with Beto at Hellhound, he pushed us to be to our like potential. Like he got like if like when John said, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we thought, like John said, when we thought like the take was great, he was like, no, you can do so much better. And he just kept pushing us and pushing us, which is something I've always looked for. If I feel something's right and I hear someone else say no, it could be better, I'm listening to the other person. I like when I'm pushed, when I'm challenged, because it'll make you a better musician at the end. Hey. And Beto's like our band dad. Like he watched over us. He made sure everything was perfect, and he did an amazing job with the album. So anyone listening out there, if you ever need a great engineer, mixer, producer, whatever, definitely hit up Beto Andrade from Hellhound Studios.
Yeah, I wanted to say, it sounds to me like Beto he kind of either had or shared a vision with you guys of what this was supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
If you kind of get my drift. I mean, a good producer, just like a good movie director, should have a vision of that perfect final product, and bringing you guys to that point would be in fact doing his job. So I would say he did a good job for you guys.
Definitely 100%.
he was so great to work with, you know. And when it came down to the mixing and everything, you know, he whatever we were envisioning, he did his best to capture that, but also doing his own tweaks. Because I remember he came up to me and asked, he's like, you know, how do you want this to be mixed? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you 5 albums, listen to them, and then come up with your own thing. And the albums I gave him were Van Halen 1. So you got Ted Templeman, Rat Out of the Cellar.
Oh Hill.
Oh hell.
Yeah, so you got Bo Hill.
Bo Hill.
Night Song, Cinderella, Andy Jones, I believe. And then you had Appetite for Destruction, so Guns, and then the last one was Quiet Riot, Metal Health. So I gave him those 5 albums. I said, what you're hearing on these albums, take one little piece of mixing that they did or style, put it together in this cake mix we're making, and sprinkle our original take on it. Boom. Put the cake in the oven. You got High Roller. You know, and just for little sprinkles on top, I said, listen to Tooth and Nail, Dokken.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
for
So,
sure.
so
Yeah.
that was a little bit of some sprinkle on this High Roller cake, for if we're calling
Oh,
it.
interesting. When it
Okay.
comes to
So now for
making
your
High roller
next,
cake.
yeah, for your next and future projects, would you consider using Beto again and following the same process?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh
had
yeah.
said
He
I
is
actually
never.
said this.
He's.
I said this
Go
to
ahead.
the
Go ahead, Mike.
band. Yeah, I said this to the band actually. Our last rehearsal last week. Well, not yesterday, but before that. I had said, listen, if we ever make it big, and you know, we're taking Beto with us because Beto helped us a lot, and we like the way he produces, he mixes, he records everything. We wouldn't think of using anyone else but Beto. Beto is our forever producer.
Yeah. He
Awesome.
really helped us a lot. And he was a lot of fun to, not even just as a producer, but as a friend, you know.
Yeah.
We had a
Yes.
lot of good laughs with him in the studio.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good times.
Some
But
fun
yeah,
stories as well.
yeah, there was a lot of interesting times in the studio, and it was a lot of work, a lot of long hours.
Oh yes, a lot of hours.
Oh
A lot
God,
of
and a
money.
lot of
Why I spent
money.
all that money?
All that money.
I spent all that money making this album.
Hey, just like the intro to your album, you were all in for this one, baby.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Be
yeah.
honest.
Oh yeah.
How satisfied are you guys with the album and how it turned out?
Very
I'm
satisfied.
100% satisfied. It definitely couldn't have been better than what it is. I think Beto just he perfected everything.
Knocked it out of the park.
Everything, yeah, basically knocked it out of the park.
For an album by a band that's doing this on their own independently without any label backing it up and funding, you know, it was a hefty cost for us, you know. By the end, I think we were probably spent, I think, like a little over $10,000 to make this album happen. But for a low budget, as I guess they would say, call it, you know, it came out amazing. To me, I think better than some of the high budget albums that are out there today.
No,
You know.
it definitely. Can I be real with you? If we were in the 70s, early 80s, your music would be perfect for the radio. Because it sucks that music or radio music is not what it used to be in terms of rock and roll. Because you guys definitely have that sound in your current album in High Rollers, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So
I
you
would
guys
say,
really
like,
knocked
there's
it out
no-
of the park, and I'm excited to see. So, if you don't mind me asking, is there anything else you guys are working on for this year or next year coming out?
Well,
Mark actually has something cooking in the oven. We're not going to say what it is yet, but
He's got a few
Yeah.
things
it's
cooking.
it's very 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 good.
so
And we're so excited.
Yeah, we'll use the baking terms again. Mark has a cake ready. It's in the oven. It's just getting popped out, and then I'm decorating it and putting all the icing and everything together. So it's definitely going to be a sweet.
Mike's going to be the taste tester.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a sweet treat for a lot of
It
fans.
is going to be a sweet treat.
We don't have an exact time when the order will be ready, but we'll just say that it definitely be on the lookout and have an appetite for it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good slice of cake.
Can't wait.
That sounds great. J-Man, you got something you want to add?
No, I was going to say it sounds great, and I will definitely be looking forward to hearing that.
No,
man. I mean, from your like current album, like you guys said it, you know, it's like you said low, but when I first listened to it, I was like, these guys are it, you know. I'm like, it's like a resurgence of what we had back then, you know, and like I would have never assumed that, you know, you guys even consider it low. I don't know. It sounds like as professional as you can get, you know, with what you guys had, and I don't know. It's solid. I can't wait. I can't wait for your guys' next album for sure. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm all in it for the cake, man. You know, I'm in it. You know?
I love it. I fucking love it. I love it. Your shit smacks. I will say that much. Your shit.
Thank you so much.
That's the next album cover. Instead of a casino, it sits in front of a bakery.
Oh, that would be a great album.
So we had High Roller. Now next album's gonna be called Baker's Dozen,
featuring Martha Stewart.
Baker's Dozen.
Featuring Martha Stewart on it.
And Gordon
Ramsay.
That's
cooking out those empanadas and tamales.
Hey, bro, don't make me hungry, dog. Come on now. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy.
It's gonna be.
Let's get the
it's
coffee
like rock
started.
and roll, you know, with like a bunch of like pastry rolls, you know, rock and roll. I don't know.
So
pastry rock and roll.
This would be a great question. Who writes your songs? Who writes the lyrics for your music? Is it a shared thing?
We all do.
We all kind of write.
We all do. We usually pitch in ideas. Sometimes we'll have like a rough draft written out. Mike and John would always either proofread it, and then they'll point out like, what if we change this to this? And you know, it's always good to have a form of critique. And for us, it's a pretty good process. We know how to communicate with each other. We work this as a team, and if we see that it's good, then it's good.
Yeah, you know. Really, with songwriting, it's like Mark said, we all have like a role. You know, I write a lot of lyrics. Mark writes a lot of guitar riffs and songs. Mike puts in ideas as well and comes up with concepts. Or sometimes we'll have something written down and he reads it over and he's like, "No, this doesn't work." And then he'll write something there and he's like, "Here." So we all have our input and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's fire and ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like John likes to say, we make the rules.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
Fire and icing.
Because we've had discussions where like, like, you know, I don't know if we should do it like this. What if people? It's like, no, we're the band. We make this. There's no rules. We make the rules.
We make our own rules with this.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah.
How long have you guys known each other for, if you don't mind me asking?
Ooh,
so I've known John since 2023. I've known Sparrow for 2 years, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Mike, I've known the longest. I've met him since 2019, and I've known him ever since.
Okay.
I've known. Yeah, so I met John at the first Fire and Ice rehearsal when our old guitarist Shane asked me to join the band. Sparrow, we all met at our first show, and like Mark said, I met Mark at a Steel Panther concert.
I like to set the record straight. I've known Mark actually since 2022, and it's funny enough, Mark. I remember the second time I spoke to you on the phone, you forgot my name.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That's so cool. And you guys literally have like an incredible chemistry for a group of guys that just met each other like in the span of the last mainly the last 3 years, if you really think about it.
We're like brothers.
We get along. We tell each other names.
Yeah,
we saw
laugh.
each other. If your friendship is not like surrounded by like insults and everything, then what kind of friendship is that?
It's like a marriage. You laugh, you cry, you fight, and then you make up.
Alike.
Sometimes
you guys really do look alike. John, you and Mark could pass as brothers, to be completely frank.
Everyone has said
You're not the first one that said that. You're not the first one that said that.
we're both Hispanic, but you know, it's so kind of funny. So Mark's Peruvian, I'm Ecuadorian, Sparrow's Colombian. So that's 3 countries all connected together.
Oh,
Wow.
damn. You're really from
look at that.
Colombia, bro?
I was born here, but yeah, my family's from Colombia.
That's what's up.
We're
You
all
know the
neighbors
women
here.
in
We're all
Colombia. Them
neighbors.
hips don't lie, baby.
The only one's the oddball is Mike. He's Italian, but I'm also Italian
He's
as well.
Hey, that's where you guys connect. John,
That's
you're
the
the bridge.
connection right there.
You're the bridge, John.
He's the bridge to the gap.
That's really cool. I hope you guys really do make it because your music is great. I take it were you guys all in bands prior to joining together in Fire and Ice?
Oh,
Yes.
yo, let me check the list.
Oh, damn.
So I'll let me tell this story. So my first band was called Python. It was a punk metal band. We were around for about 2 years. We really weren't. We wanted to be serious, but we were all spread out in different
States.
cities. Still, yeah, states. I'm sorry. Me and the bass player Johnny Crow. We both lived in the same town. Went to high school together. We formed a band, the band Python, and we found online our lead guitarist James Black in Massachusetts. And James would travel down every month to do rehearsals and stuff like that. And then we found when we were looking for a lead singer, we found Izzy Riot, who lived in Mississippi. So
Whoa.
yeah, so we tried making it work. We put out an EP, and then it just it was getting tough on everyone to travel, and the other bandmates had their own personal stuff going on, and it just didn't work out. And I was in I was in Python
towards the end. Shane, who was our guitarist, he had hit me up and he said, hey, we just lost our drummer. Do you want to come down and rehearse with us and audition? So I had said to Python, I was like, listen, we're really not doing anything. I want to continue to play because at this point we were only playing like a couple of times a year. And I was like, I want to keep doing this like full time. So I had joined Conquer at Will, passed the audition. We went, we did a few shows together. Shane stepped away for a little while. And when we were looking for a guitar player, I had met John because towards 2022, Shane was doing his own thing as to why he left Conquer at Will. Shane said, listen, I have this other project. If you want to come, and you don't have to join full time, if you want to come and jam, he's like, I met this kid from Massapequa and he's really great guitar player and singer. He's like, why don't you come down to his house and jam with us? So I was like, all right. So at this time, Conquer at Will, our lead singer, Nick Harlow, he had just had a baby boy. And our lead guitarist, Pete Baker, was diagnosed with tinnitus, so that he couldn't really play anymore because it was affecting his ears. So I had joined. I had met up with John and Shane, and Mark was there. And first rehearsal, I was just like, I fell in love. I was like, this is what I've been looking for all along.
So what was the first rehearsal like, if you don't mind me asking?
Ooh, I remember like yesterday. I still have the recording. So the first rehearsal, I remember it was cold. It was in January, so I don't know if I think there was it lightly snowed, so it was cold. We all went in my basement. I have a whole studio basement with like foam and everything. I had a whole drum kit set up, bass amp, 2 guitar cabinets with heads. So pretty much we planned this out. Like it took us 2 weeks to plan out that we were all free because at the time our schedules were a little conflicting. But then we got everyone together. And when we first started off, we did covers because originally like I said, we were based out of Long Island, and a lot of the club circuits on Long Island, it's kind of like you had to play covers or you don't play at all. You know, Long Island isn't really exactly a music area to cater to heavy metal. It's more so if you're playing the Beach Boys, Billy Joel, and Jimmy Buffett, you'll definitely get a gig, or playing, bands like Blink 182,
Green Day,
Nirvana. Yeah, Green Day, like stuff like that, you'll definitely get a gig.
Linkin
But
Park.
anything like, Motley Crue, Cinderella, Poison, Dokken, that was just in the past.
That breaks my
So
heart. That breaks my
yeah,
heart.
so the only way I knew how things ran in Long Island, you had to play covers. So we came up with a couple of covers to just basically see where we were at and how we play together, just doing cover tunes and not originals. The first song we ever played together was Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue.
Ah,
And I have that exact recording. I kid you not. We sound exactly like Crue. Better yet, better than Crue. How they
Do
sounded.
you have it on you right now?
I have the.
I want to see this.
I have the voice. It's a voice recording, so you hear all of us.
Okay.
But it sounded better than how they perform at Us Festival in '83 when that album first came out. And I remember when Mike locked in with just the opening crashes, and he's doing the twirls like Tommy Lee. Mark's sliding on the bass, doing the whole Nikki Sixx thing. And then I'm coming in with the nasally Vince Neil voice. Shane's, keeping down the rhythm, chugging just that intro. I was like, this is what I've been searching for the past 5 years. Prior to Fire and Ice, I had been in bands. I'd been playing in bands since high school. No one was serious. It kind of came down, like I was always the one like saying like, we got to do this, we got to do that. Like, this is my life. For other people, it was more so, oh, this is my hobby. And then, college is coming. I'm leaving. It was that kind of deal. So then when I finally found people that want to do this for, a living and really want to make it in the industry, I'm like, this is good. And then once I heard all four of us play together, I was like, holy shit. I was like that. I was like, this is great. I was like a kid in a candy store when I was hearing all this. And we sounded
home.
great. Yeah, we were.
home.
Man, I want to hear that. I want to hear that. I literally want to hear the first time you guys play together. What about you, Mark? What's your background in terms of band? Sparrow, we'll get to you last, my friend.
So prior to Fire and Ice, I was in two bands. My very first band ever was a thrash metal band. I originally was supposed to be a guitar player, but the guy just liked to do complicated stuff. And I'm like, screw it. We can't find a bass player. We already have a drummer, so you know what? I'll be a bass player. So that's how I just decided to stick to bass. And it's worked so well with me so far. And right after like the second year with that band, our frontman started losing out of control. He started getting into hardcore drugs, and after that we were like, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to be in a band that's surrounded by people who want to abuse substances like this, and it just wasn't right. And the guy wasn't treating me like well as a friend or anything. So I was still in college at the time, so like balancing between college and work at the same time. I started going on Band Mix, and these two guys decided to hit me up as like, hey, we're trying to form an 80s heavy metal band. And at that time, I was already getting into like 80s heavy metal. So, well, when I was a kid, I was into like rap music. Then I got into heavy metal. And right after like listening to like Rat, Poison, Motley Crue, I was like, what, this is the kind of stuff I kind of want to do because it's palatable. It's not too repetitive or anything. And with these two guys, we try to make it work. It didn't work really well. Even with when I had Shane with me in this band, we were like, yeah, this isn't working out. I mean, it left a really bad impression to us, and it really left a really sour taste in our mouth. So Shane and I and the rest, we parted ways, and I just pretty much sat there for like doing nothing, just doing self-recording. So by doing that, I was like focusing on myself, trying to do self-recording, self-producing and everything. And that's how I started making demos. I started making demos for Fire and Ice once I had that knowledge. Then I get a call from the drummer from my old band, which was the second band. He tells me like, "Hey, I got a guy from Massapequa. Like he's coming over. We're gonna try to do an '80s band kind of thing. Like, do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll come over." And John comes in with a friend of his because it's a long drive from Massapequa to New Jersey. And this was like the year after he moved from New Jersey to Massapequa. And I was like, dude, if only you stayed in New Jersey for a while longer. Like, dang. So we got together, and I was more impressed on John's playing. I was like, all right, this guy can play. This guy can play. I don't care what he looks like. He can play. He can play really good. So didn't work out with this one guy. So John was like, "Hey, you wanted to start like a project kind of thing, and like at this point, man, I'm down for anything. Let's just give it a shot." And he tells me like, "All right, I got this guitar player. He's from the Bronx, and like he's willing to do this project with us." And I'm like, "Hold on, it's this guy named Shane." He's like, "What? Like you know this guy?" I'm like, "This guy was in this band before I met you." So we all got together, and Mike came into the picture, and right there it was Fire and Ice completely reunited.
Yeah.
Well, completely united for the first time.
I was the new guy. They had all knew each other prior and hung out and partied and played in other bands that knew each other. I was just the new kid on the scene,
Well,
the talk of the
this is-
town.
We've
is
known
actually
each other for a while since
Whoa.
since COVID actually. We've known each other since the pandemic.
That's
Damn.
insane. Well, this is actually a perfect segue to Sparrow, who is literally your newest bandmate. Sparrow, how many bands have you been a part of, and how was your journey to join Fire and Ice? Because you were a groupie first, and now you're actually a part of the band.
I was a
Groupie.
groupie for roadie.
I was John's
Roadie.
roadie, first
My
of
bad,
all.
my bad, Roddy.
Groupie
He got
is
promoted.
diabolical.
Damn, he got the shit end of the stick in this interview. You were the groupie.
Yeah, Sparrow took
I
real
should've-
good care of John being his groupie.
I love you, Sparrow.
Before we get
Sparrow,
there,
to all
I
the
have
fans
this to
out there
prove it
about
first.
Sparrow.
Before we get into that, I have this to prove it.
There you go.
Really?
There you go.
Wait,
Some of
wait,
land use,
wait.
man.
I'll set the
sorry,
record straight.
Sparrow.
Hang on. Sparrow. So to all our fans out there who are wondering about Sparrow, Sparrow was my longtime roadie for a long time. He would always help out after shows, always at every show, filming, taking home a souvenir set list. He was our most committed fan, and then
Pretty
he got
much, I
promoted
was-
to he got promoted to be my guitar tech and roadie, and then now he's our new lead guitarist.
He's not.
So he's not a
helping you with the
groupie.
groupies anymore. He's bringing you
No.
the groupies now, right?
Hopefully.
Oh,
Love you, Sparrow.
Hopefully.
I love you, Sparrow.
No,
love
like,
No, but
no, but getting
Sparrow.
back to how.
Yeah,
How
please
I
go
started.
into your history.
Very much. So my first band, I joined them in it was 2022. It was a couple of years after college, and it was a band that I joined. It was called Minefield Playground. It was more. We were more like alternative, like progressive rock. It was like, oh, like not really. It was like very unique. It was very hard to describe, but like. I joined. I was actually before that. I was around that time I wanted to start like, hey, I have I want to start my own band. So I started like putting out flyers, putting out ads, like looking around for like people to play with, right? And I also put a band out on Bandmix, the same place that John and Mark worked at. And I put my number on there because not many people put their numbers on there because I want people to call me directly with that. So I got a few people hit me up, but nobody really committed to like what I wanted to do. More like heavy metal and like the 80s style, right? So in the process of doing that, somebody hits me up, this guy called Rick Charles. He was the bassist and lead singer of Minefield Playground. Of course, one day we talked for a bit. We set up an audition. I go, and apparently of all the guys that they auditioned, I was the best one. So I go for the second day just to rehearse with them just to get a better vibe. And that's when I made the decision. Okay, yeah, I'll join you guys for a bit. So stick around. I stick around with them for a while, and for like that very first year I'm with them, this is 2022. We're actually doing like very good for like my first band. We're doing like at one point we were doing like a show like every other weekend for like the same month, which was crazy to me because this is my first band ever. And it's just like, fuck yeah, this is what I want to do. And also at the same time, right before I joined, these guys had already recorded like a full-length album, just of a bunch of songs they wanted to put out. And so we were like, that was pretty much a tour for that album. Anyway, I stayed with them for a while. The first year was great, but then by the second year, we want to start recording like more songs, right? With me writing stuff. But like, I always got the feeling that like no disrespect to the guys, but like it always seemed to me like they said that they wanted to be serious, but like nothing really ever happened as far as like actually picking those next steps to become like more serious, you know? Well, you went from like playing a whole bunch of shows to like once in a blue moon, which I didn't really like. I wanted to play live. So I noticed like a while if the steam starts to like go down. And then fast forward to December 2023. I go to see this band here in New York. It's a cover band called Overnight Sensation. And they were pretty much a cover band. They do like 80s like covers. Like they're doing like Cinderella, Great White, Dokken, Grim Reaper. And this is, remind you, I did not even know like these songs, anybody was playing these songs like ever live nowadays. So like I go to see them. They were fucking great. I start talking with the drummer a little bit, and this other guy, he actually tells me about hey, I know about this other band I'm playing here in 2 weeks from Long Island doing 80s metal. I'm like, wait a minute, 80s metal from Long Island? Say what? Because I'm from Long Island too. I'm like, where the fuck else am I gonna hear a band like that, like ever playing 80s stuff? I'm like, holy fucking shit, I'm there. So like 2 weeks go by. I'll never forget this day and the feeling. It was January 14th, 2024. I walked downstairs to the venue. I turned to my right. It's like I was taken back to 1986. Fucking dark room, everybody in like 80s gear, teased hair, denim and leather, chains and spikes. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is awesome. That same night was Fiery Night's very first show ever. So when they say that, when John says like I've been following these guys since the beginning, he means it. I was there at their very first show.
Yeah, Sparrow's an original fan.
So Sparrow, how did you actually meet the band? Did you meet them after the show?
I met John after the show a little bit. We didn't really talk too much yet, John. But like after that show, us and like our friends, Overnight, by the way, it was Fire Night's first show. Overnight Sensation also played that same show. They were the headliners there. So like, but these guys were all friends for like a long time, a while. So like after the show, I'm like, I just decided to stick around, and we all just ended up going to this diner nearby, hung out there.
I remember that.
And
the expensive fucking eggs and everything.
It's Manhattan. What were you expecting?
I remember that night because that was what? It was a Sunday, right?
No, it
was a Sunday.
No, it wasn't. It was a weekday. I remember.
Oh, it was a Friday, I think.
Yeah.
No, it was a Sunday.
It was all I remember. It was the
It was
smallest
a day in the week.
It was some.
It was a day ending in Y.
It was a day ending in Y. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
I remember vividly. It was a Sunday, and then I had work the next day, and I had to leave.
Oh my god. I
There
just
was
I just
another thing that happened there, but I'm not gonna say it.
all I remember
we,
from
we,
that show, that first show, and we have like the whole show like recorded professionally. We hired a
it
videographer to
was
film it.
it was on Vimeo, I think. I think
Vimeo.
that's the
It's still there.
website.
Still is.
Yeah, we still have.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's
Is it
the
under
whole show.
Fire and Ice?
Yeah, I believe it's
Should be,
Fire and
yeah.
Ice Under Berlin. I think that's how it's titled. I
Berlin
believe
Under A.
Berlin under A.
That's the
Berlin
name of it,
Under A.
called Berlin Under A.
Yeah.
Berlin Under
Oh,
A. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna do some deep dives on you boys. I'm just letting you know. I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know. Um,
Hold
but
on.
how
I'm not done.
are
I'm
you
not
guys?
done yet. There's a
I
little bit
don't.
more.
If you don't mind me asking, because y'all look like you're in like you're still like your
Nelson.
20s to 30s.
Nelson. I think Sparrow wasn't finished telling his thing.
Oh, he wasn't. My bad.
There's a little more as to like how I got into Fire and Ice.
hurry up.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. My bad, Sparrow.
That's all. You're fine. You're fine. You're cool. So yeah, I go to the first show. We hung out. That's where me and John meet really officially. Their next show is not until March. Well, in between that other guy that I met at the Overnight Sensation show 2 weeks prior is a friend of all of ours. He goes by the nickname Speed. He has his own band called Chains and Leather. They pretty much do like essentially the same thing as these guys, like a cover band. Essentially the same thing as Overnight Sensation, but more like deeper cuts deeper underground metal. But barely anybody knows. I'm talking like Vanilla Road, The Liege Lord, Watchtower, Brandy, like very obscure bands that he just loves. And so later on, he asked me to like, "Hey, you play guitar? You want to play with us for a show?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I kind of like some of these songs." So like I started playing with them. He loves my guitar playing, so I stuck around for Chains of Leather for a bit. I pretty much become their main guitarist. And then so we do several shows throughout the years. At the same time, I'm becoming more and more friends with Fire and Ice. And then fast forward to last year, we decided this was actually John's idea. I'll give him this one. It was actually him. He asked if we wanted to do a Wasp tribute set, just a set of Chains and Leather of just Wasp songs, because we all love Wasp. And John, I will say this for the record, John Tora has one of the best Blackie Wallace impressions I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Doing Blackie Lawless, it's a lot of anger. It's a kind of a fuse between doing Kevin Dubrow and kind of have like a very aggressive tone. And that's what that go back to what I was saying when it comes to me with singing, especially doing cover tunes. I like to do impressions of singers. So basically when like my singing is based on impressions, because growing up as a kid, I would do impressions of cartoon characters and family members. So when it came to sing, I've never had vocal lessons ever. A lot of people say to me like you take singing lessons? I go, no, not at all. Never had a lesson in my life. I just self-taught. And the way I was doing it, I was thinking, okay, if someone else wants to hear this song as a cover, they would want to hear it sound as close to the album. So that's what I did. So what I would do is essentially just mimic the vocalist. What I would do is, which was insane, I would listen to the isolated track and hear every little accent or every little breathing moment or every little like nasally note. Every little detail I would pick up, and then just sing it like that. Even the fuck ups. And sometimes some of the fuck ups they do.
That's talent, my friend. That's called talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can go like I like Vince Neil to something more soft like Don Dock, and you could do kind of it really. It depends. Sometimes I'm using my throat, sometimes it's the nose, and then sometimes it's from the diaphragm. So it's kind of like you just switch.
That's actually really cool.
It's like a
you
weapon.
definitely know your voice. You definitely know your voice and your range, which is actually really cool. It looks like you've been practicing a lot for like I don't know how old you are but
I started. Yeah. So you were saying, So you were saying with us being in our 20s.
Are you guys in your 20s?
We are.
Yeah.
I want you to guess who is the oldest and the youngest.
John, you're the youngest. Spider's the oldest.
Correct. First try.
He got it
Got
right.
it.
You got it the first try.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. Spider, are you in your 30s?
I'm about to be in my 30s. I'm 29. So don't remind me.
Oh my god.
Dirty 30,
I
right?
just hit Mike
It's okay,
laughing.
Spider. I'll be
Dirty
with you.
30. There we go.
Dirty 30s, baby.
Got to forever 29.
John, you're 24, aren't you? 25.
20 gonna be 23 in 2 weeks.
You're a baby boy. Jesus.
I'm 22.
You got the baby face written all over you. God damn.
Yeah, when I met
Jesus,
these guys, oh my god, when I met these guys, I couldn't drink. I was 18 turning 19. So I remember we used to like hang out. And actually, no, should I even be saying this on the air? They used to sneak me
you're
apple
over 21
juice.
now. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Sneaking apple juice.
We used to hang out. I'd be
Apple
like,
cider.
they'd be like, yo, you drinking? I'm like, I want to, but they'll card me because I'm 19. They're like, all right, they used to buy me drinks.
Yeah, all that apple juice, right?
They got me all that apple juice.
Capri Suns, we get it. Capri Suns, we get
Capri
it.
Suns,
Capri
yeah.
Vitamin
Yeah.
D.
Yeah,
Vitamin D.
I'm the baby of the group. Mark was always the oldest. Mike was the second. Actually, no. Mike was the second oldest, but now he got demoted down to the second youngest.
Or promoted.
No,
Yeah,
way.
Look at it.
Mike,
Yeah.
are you? I think you're like 25 to 27.
26.
Okay, I was right in the ballpark. And then Sparrow,
yeah.
you're 28.
I'll be 20 in 2 months.
Okay,
I'm 27.
see? You guys are still young. You guys got a long leeway to make it. You guys are on the right path, my friends. So how did you guys obviously Sparrow was your number one roadie, not groupie, roadie. How did you guys decide Sparrow was a good fit for you guys to be like the actual replacement for Shane? Because that's some big shoes that you guys are filling.
Well, me and Savad.
So
You know, to get back to what I was saying. So it was actually that WAPS that I was just talking about. We played that show. We actually co-headlined that show with Fire and Ice. But the day after, I got a call from Shane saying that he wants to step out of Fire and Ice to do something else, but that he wants me specifically to replace him. So I was handpicked by Shane to take his shoes.
That's dope.
Yeah. Shane. So with the whole story with Shane, Shane was the quote unquote founder of the band. Like he got everyone together in a way. Shane was one of the main ingredients in the band, like best guitar player I've ever worked with. One day, just after we put the album out, Shane he wanted to step away and do his own thing. He moved out to Los Angeles with his girlfriend, and he just said he was like, "Listen, I don't want you guys, just because I'm leaving, I don't want you guys to stop. He's like, I want you guys to continue. He's like, this is our child together. He's like, don't let our child die. Just let it continue to grow with or without me. And it broke my heart when Shane first told me he was leaving, because me and Shane have been like Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, like attached to, like anywhere, like band wise. Anywhere I went, Shane was right next to me, and vice versa.
Except the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, there was sometimes in the like when we were doing shows,
okay.
him and I would be doing,
Okay.
doing our.
The truth comes out.
Shady Mob Podcast Insider Scoop.
Comes out.
Whoa, the truth comes out. I knew them hair metal rock bands had deep dark secrets. I knew they all had deep dark secrets.
Jason Stoll's taking his shit, holding hands underneath.
No, pause on that. So in all seriousness, there's venues that you really don't have a dressing room or anything. So like Shane would be in the bathroom doing his eyeliner, and I'd be in there like teasing my hair. So there would be times where him and I would be in the bathroom, but I would make sure the door is open so nobody thinks like we're in there together doing something weird. But no,
that's the
Filing your
story we
taxes.
tell. In the story, the door is open. In real life, ladies and gentlemen.
no, but no. So when Shane told me that he wanted to step down and focus on his life and potentially going into another style of music, it broke my heart because, like I said, him and I are like brothers. And when we first started Fire and Ice, I was in a band previously with Shane, Conquer at Will, but when we joined, when we did Fire and Ice, or when we were in Fire and Ice together, me and him had this pact together, which it was if Shane was to leave, I would be right there with him leaving, and if I left, Shane left. So when Shane told me he was leaving, he was like, "Listen, I know we have a fucking pact together, but he was like, I want you to not quit." And I remember I said on the phone with Shane, I was like, "I wasn't gonna quit anyway. I was just bullshitting you. I wouldn't fucking leave. I don't care if you're leaving or not." So,
Damn.
so,
He's like,
so
fuck
Shane,
you at this point.
no, I was like, listen, it breaks my heart you're leaving, but you gotta do what's right for yourself. And he said to us, he was like, listen, you guys are gonna continue this band. You guys are gonna be great. He's like, just because I'm leaving doesn't mean the train stops. He's like, you guys got to continue for me. Do it for me. He's like, keep going. So we were like, absolutely. And then when we were thinking about getting other guitar players, Shane said, listen, Sparrow's been there from the beginning. Sparrow's, helping John with his, roadie stuff. He's like, test out Sparrow. He's like, Sparrow's going to be your guy. And we did the first rehearsal with Sparrow, and it just was amazing. Couldn't have, picked a better guy,
I
honestly.
had to record it down on my phone. The audio.
Wow.
Day.
Yeah. It was like when we were playing with Sparrow, it was like, wow. It was like, it's just like, it added like a new ingredient to the band.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm forever grateful for Sparrow to step up and join us.
Is the
Happy
door
to be
always
here.
open for Shane to come back and work with you guys? Or is
So
once the band, like the doors closed? Because I've never been in a band. I've always been curious to ask this question.
I had said that to Shane. I was like, if you're leaving and Sparrow joins, I was like, if there's one day you want to come back, I was like, you created this band. The door is always open, but we're not getting rid of Sparrow. We would have to, we'll figure out a way. But if we have to become a 5-piece, we're gonna do that because Sparrow is putting in the work. Sparrow is doing everything. But you created this band, Shane. If you want to come back, the door will always be open. But we're not getting rid of Sparrow.
So
Sparrow
what's
is
the
now
difference
forever.
between a 4-piece and a 5-piece band? Is the sound drastically different? Is there
Well, a
Essentially,
five-piece,
Less space in the
a
car.
five-piece can basically be just 2 guitar players, a bass player, a singer, and a drummer. But I've seen bands where they'll have 3 guitar players, a bass
Iron
player,
Maiden.
and
Maiden.
Southern rock bands.
and
Mhm.
I've seen Winger done it live, and they did it perfectly, and it was just all amazing. The only exception that Paul Taylor is a keyboardist, and none of us knows how to play keys.
not yet. Not yet. But
God, I
So
love
multiple
the attitude.
guitars
You'll
gives
figure
you
it
a
out.
little
Huh?
more,
No, yeah,
creative ability too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if there's ever a time that Shane calls one of us and says, "Listen, I want to come back," the door will always be open. And I know Shane's going to be watching this and listening, and we just want Shane to know we love him, and we hope the path he's going in right now is the best for him. He'll always be our brother. He'll always be our family.
he still owes me a UFC hangout with Wings and Heineken. It was his
Shane
favorite.
still owes me money, first of all, so Shane's not going anywhere.
He's like, I'm gonna hit Shane up in Los Angeles when we go out there again later this year. Because y'all are coming out to
I'm
LA.
actually
Yeah,
I'm
we are.
actually going out to Los Angeles to visit Shane because me and Shane are going to see this band that was one of my favorites, Escape the Fate, and I got Shane into it. So we're going to where I saw that they were playing in Los Angeles, and I said, Shane, this gives me a great opportunity to come out and visit you. So I'm really looking forward to that because I haven't seen Shane in like 2 months now. We're going on 2 months,
Yeah.
and we've all been together almost every weekend for the last 3 years. So, you know, being all of us, not being together, we kind of miss each other. So I'm really excited to see Shane.
Well, with that being said, gentlemen, we are coming up on about, I think, an hour and a half of doing the actual interview.
Oh.
Do you guys, J-Man, Scotty, Alex, you guys have any other questions for Fire and Ice?
I would wonder if you guys would be looking to tour maybe over in Europe anytime in the future.
Oh, 100%.
100%. We'd love to.
100%.
If the offer ever came up, that's a quick yes. I've always wanted to play Germany and Europe, London, Italy, anywhere. Definitely, I've always wanted to play. Yeah, I've always wanted to play. Japan and Germany were always my two tops.
Yeah, a lot of metal going on in Europe.
Japan for me.
Yeah.
Japan.
So what's actually
South America?
Actually, South America too.
Yeah.
Peru, you know you gotta go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Para la familia, para el barrio, for everybody.
Por la familia y todo, todos mis causitos y mis primos.
A Colombia.
Hey, there you go.
Ecuador.
No, but right now, what is directly next for all you guys?
Well, right now it's the States.
Right now it's the States for now. Hopefully, something actually does happen for us in a good way, and it'll be a really massive impact in our lives.
That's
yeah.
dope.
We have a few shows coming up here in Jersey and New York. We're playing February 27th. We're playing Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey, and March 14th we're playing Lucky 13 in Brooklyn, New York.
February 27th and March 14th is your next opportunity, guys, to go and check out Fire and Ice live.
Yeah, go see him.
Go see him. I hope you guys don't mind. We're going to be playing your music on our shows, just trying to promote you guys. We appreciate your guys' time. Really are very grateful for you guys doing this interview with us here on Sonic Waves. Do you guys have any plugs you guys want to plug right now?
I just want to shout out Beto and Eddie from Hellhound. We just want to, on behalf of the band, we want to thank those two especially because they've given us a home at Hellhound Studios to record, everything. And we couldn't think of a better place to do that. And especially, I'm sure the band will agree with me, we most importantly want to thank our fans because without them, we would just be four guys playing to ourselves. So it's the fans that keep us going. We love going to shows and seeing everyone watching us. You guys mean the world to us. So we really appreciate you guys sticking with us and, enjoying our music. And we hope to continue to keep the ball rolling and the train rolling for you guys.
Guys, go check out shadymob.com for all the latest content. Go check out Shady Mob Podcast, Shady Mob Productions, and One from the End Zone, Port City Uncensored, and everything that has to do with Shady Mob Productions. We appreciate you guys. J-Man, you got anything else you want to add, bud?
I was going to say, especially Sonic Waves every Saturday, where we will be featuring gentlemen like we had on the show today.
Yeah.
New music.
New music all the time. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you. We will see y'all next time.